Life is hard, but you know what isn't hard? Making shaky cheese, aka vegan Parmesan.
Now, do you ever miss like going to Olive Garden and the guy says, "Would you like some Parmesan cheese?" Now we have to say no, even though we don't really go to Olive Garden anymore. But he sits there, and I just love that, like this mound of snow building up on top of the dish. So I came up with a way to do that at home, although you don't have to go like this for like 5 minutes. So, Derica, I wrote down stuff for you. What do we need?
We're going to start off with our base, and our base, shockingly enough, is cashews.
Now, you want unsalted and unroasted cashews. If you're using salted cashews, then you're going to want to leave out the third ingredient. More on that in a minute.
So we're going to do a half a cup.
All right. I'll try to manage this. I can never really get an exact half cup because, like, you know, they fall all over the place. One of them might have, I don't know, maybe it did. It's usually a little bit over half cup because, in my opinion, there's some air in there, so that doesn't really count. If you were to crush these down, it would be less than half cup.
Now, if you're not using a high-powered blender like we are...
Actually, it's okay. This does not require a high-powered blender.
Okay.
We are not making a liquid from this. We are making
a
powder. There's a difference.
Forget what I said then.
It is totally okay.
All right, next step is half a cup nutritional yeast.
By the way, some of you will appreciate the irony of using the actual green can lid from Parmesan cheese to keep our nutritional yeast in a mason jar. By the way, that's a free tip. You can use those lids on mason jars. They actually work beautifully well. So that way you have a shaky side.
The regular mouth
and
size.
A pour side. Yeah, the regular mouth, yeah. Half cup? Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Okay. Yeah, half cup. This is cooking, folks. Doesn't have to be exact. Just, you know, close enough is close enough.
And the third ingredient, which Brian did mention earlier, is shockingly enough salt. And for that, we need a half teaspoon.
Now, salt is an optional ingredient here, but Parmesan cheese is salty. So if you want to really make it a convincing Parmesan cheese, and I mean convincing like, you know, fool your carnivore friends, you probably want to add a little bit of salt. I couldn't find the half teaspoon measure, and this is just not. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Couldn't find the half teaspoon measure, so I'm just gonna put in 2/4 teaspoons. But like I said, if you are using salted cashews, then you probably don't want to do this step because you're salty enough. People say that about me all the time. That was the hardest thing you have to do. Well, maybe getting it out of the blender. That's probably the hardest thing. Okay, and now, in the words of Alton Brown, put the spurs to it. I normally do a time jump when I'm editing these so that you see the beginning and the ending of the blending so that you don't have to sit there and listen to it and see the whole blend. That was actual real time, okay? I did not cut anything. That was real time. It's done. To store it, I like to use a glass container, but plastic works just as well. I just don't like plastic very much. I know the irony of using a plastic blender as I'm doing this, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Bang it around a little bit. You can get a spoon in there if you really want to. And there you have a very yellow Parmesan cheese. Now, if the yellow bothers you, you can use less, you know, you can use more cashews, but it is a powder, as you can see, and I'm gonna taste some. It honestly tastes a lot like Parmesan cheese. It really does. You don't want to use this like mixing into things. You want to use this as a topping. Yeah. This is like, you get a nice plate of spaghetti with maybe our Beyond Meat clone meatballs, you know, which we have links to how to make, and put some of this over the top. It adds just that little bit extra, plus it fools your brain into thinking, wow, this is Parmesan cheese, which is a really cool thing to do. What can you do to store this though?
You want to keep it in an airtight container. So we're using our Snapware lids with the snappy snap, as you just heard Brian do.
So Pyrex.
You can also do Tupperware or whatever plastic storage device of your choice is. You can even put it in the reusable zip top bags. That's fine.
I like a container though, because you can do this, because it does clump a little bit. Yeah. So just give it a good shake. That's why we call it shaky cheese, although that's not really why we call it shaky cheese. Derica calls it shaky cheese because you shake it out of the container. But yeah, keep it in the fridge.
Yep.
We don't like to leave this out. Once you break down those cashews, they do have some oils in them, and it could go rancid. Not a definite thing, but I like to keep it in the fridge. And how long can it last? Well, I
don't know
A few
because we
weeks.
eat it really
Yeah.
quick.
It goes pretty fast around here, so it's not really a problem. The amount of salt in here is actually pretty minimal. So, because there's how many servings of Parmesan cheese? I mean, if you're me, it's like 3.
No.
I'm joking. But, you know, there's a lot of servings in here, so you're not getting a lot of salt in each one, but that flavor does come through. There's also a significant amount of fat in cashews, but again, it's broken up over so many servings that you're not getting a lot in each serving. We've already spent like 10 times longer to make this video than it takes to actually make this shaky cheese. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.